Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, I know things are tense around the cruise industry right now, but as far as I'm concerned, these guys should never cruise again. So quickly, let's get into the situation. The first part of it is the MSC Mara Biglia, I reported just the other day, had been denied entry into two ports. It had been denied into Ocho Rios in Jamaica and then the Cayman Islands as well, amid fears that two people on board had flu-like symptoms. That's it. Flu-like symptoms. And by the way, I have flu-like symptoms now. I have a cold, I have a headache, and I have the sniffles. Do I have what everyone's worried about? No. I went to bed. It was really hot on the cruise ship the second last night. I turned the air conditioning on a little bit heavy. I went to sleep and overnight it turned into a storm and the temperature changed. And in the morning I was freezing and I woke up with the sniffles. That's how I got it. Nothing else. So yeah, things are going on right now, but back to this story, just as what's going on out there. The MSC Mara Biglia then was told that they can go to Mexico, into Cozumel, and so they headed to Cozumel, and they thought everyone's going to get off. Here we go. Yeah, no, we have to test you, and you're going to have to wait a little bit, and you'll probably be able to get off tomorrow. So the third day, at a third port, they were no longer allowed to get off. Now, a lot of people were voicing frustration. Yes, frustration makes sense because you're not getting to your cruise ports. You're on a ship, but the worst scenario is you're on a luxury cruise ship in the Caribbean. Not so bad. But apparently that wasn't enough for some people on the MSC Mara Biglia. That's right. They decided to start throwing things around and going after crew members physically. And so who did these hyper tough guys, these manly men go after? Did they go after the security guards? Huh? No. They didn't go after security guards. Did they go after the captain and the crew members up on the bridge or anything? No, they didn't go after the captain. No. They went after the singers and musicians playing in the piazza or the atrium. The piano player, the singers, the people who play the violin. That's who these guys decided to start a row with. Oh, and by the way, there is a rumor that maybe, just maybe, they were showing signs of inebriation. Just maybe they were showing signs of inebriation. There's a surprise, right? So that's right. You're frustrated. You can't get off at a cruise port. So you decide to go physically after the musicians playing classical music or playing ballroom music in the piazza area, the atrium area where everyone's sitting. And sure enough, the security does eventually show up. There is a brawl that breaks out with two of these passengers going after people, and security use their spray and put them down. And much to the delight and the applause of everybody else in the area, all the people up on the upper decks looking down, they applauded and cheered the security. Obviously, they thought that they were doing the right thing. And as far as I'm concerned, now, I don't care how frustrated you are. I don't care how inebriated you are. At no point anywhere are you allowed to go after or toss anything or break anything on a cruise ship because you're frustrated. And especially, you're not allowed to go after a crew member physically. That's a zero tolerance rule as far as I'm concerned. These guys should have been said, hey, you know what? You know how you wanted to get off in Cozumel so bad? Pack your bags, you're off. And guess what? You can never cruise again, with our company at least. And by the way, we'll spread the word and the pictures out to all the other cruise companies, just in case they want to ban you as well. It's absolutely asinine that these people did that. Right now, the cruise line has just reported that this incident happened. They have not said what any kind of disciplinary measurements have been taken against the passengers yet. But as far as, I honestly think they should have been escorted off the cruise ship. As soon as the cruise ship was given clearance to take passengers off, they should have disembarked them with their bags, tossed the bags out onto the deck and said, sayonara, see you later, hope you got enough money for your flights. Absolutely moronic jerks. That's what these two gentlemen are. And don't give me they were drinking and they were frustrated. I don't care. I don't care. The minute you go after anybody, a crew member, it's one thing to be complaining and be unhappy. It's one thing to go into your stateroom and, toss your own things around the stateroom because you're upset, or pout or mope like a little baby. But that's totally a different story when you go after a crew member on the ship. They should be banned for life from this cruise ship immediately. There should be a zero tolerance. Why have we not heard that this has happened? Am I out to lunch here? Am I, calm down. They got a little bit tipsy and they started throwing banging the piano lid down and smashing glasses around the area and threatening the crew members. It's just harmless drinking and frustration because it was the musician's fault that the cruise ports wouldn't let you off. That's right. It was those darn musicians' fault. Oh boy, if only those musicians weren't on that cruise ship, everything would have been fine, right? Right. You would have got off in the Cayman Islands. You would have got off in Ocho Rios. You would have had a great time. You know what? They probably would have thrown in drink packages and food, specialty dining for free. If only those darn musicians weren't on board. Give me a break. Give me a royal break. So that's that story. That's how that is. And just to give you an idea of how things are going right now in the Caribbean, are they checking people? Are they doing anything? Yes, when we got on the MSC Divina, we had to walk by the heat sensor cameras to check our temperatures. They checked our passports to make sure we hadn't traveled anywhere that we're not supposed to in the last 30 days. They were questioning everybody. They were checking everybody's passport. If you have a passport that has a Chinese stamp, a China stamp in it, they were extra questioning you and double checking and running you through the system. So yes, they are taking their precautions as much as possible. It doesn't seem now that it's the cruise ship industry that's having the issues. It seems to be the issues with letting everybody else come, right? There has been zero reports of anybody on a cruise ship other than that one, in Japan. That's it. That was the situation there. Everything else has not been there. But cases there are now popping up in Italy, and they've closed 11 towns in Italy. It's Iran. It's, parts of the United States now. It's more cases in Ontario and Canada. Those people weren't on cruise ships. Those people didn't come on and travel by cruise ships. Maybe, just maybe, we should be doing this same testing at every airport across the country, at every airport everywhere. They certainly didn't do anything for me in Miami. When I got on the cruise ship with the sniffles and, sneezing a little bit, and other people were coughing and sneezing, there was no temperature gauge monitors. There were nothing like that at any of the airports that I traveled to. And maybe that's where we need to get to. Not focusing on the cruise ships because of the one incident that happened with one cruise ship in the world. That's right, in the world, one case. The case that we thought was on the Westerdam, it was a false positive. Didn't have it. So the only known one that we have out there is from the Princess cruise ship in Japan, and everything else has been travel through airlines, through other means, driving across state lines to visit your relatives or head home in Europe and places like that. That's what's causing it now. So all this focus on, canceling ports for cruise ships because a crew member comes down with a cold, maybe your focus is now needs to be somewhere else. Maybe we need to be focusing on every international airport everywhere now, and they're not. At least I haven't seen it. I didn't walk by any cameras. They might be very well hidden. Might be. But I did not see them, and I went through it 3 different times, and I did not see one. And I was looking for it. I wanted to see what they were testing for. I definitely saw it at the cruise terminal. They had to stop, walk a certain speed, cleared us, we went through. Nothing like that at the airports. Nothing. So that makes it, very, very worrisome that we're putting our efforts on the cruise line industry and not looking at the other alternatives that are actually maybe causing this whole thing to get worse, especially up in Italy, especially in other countries. So let's hope that they wisen up a little bit out there before this becomes a much worse situation. And as far as those 2 guys are concerned, they should be sitting in Mexico wondering how they're getting home. No excuses, no nothing. They should not be allowed on that cruise ship anymore. They should be off that ship. And I hope MSC Cruise Lines does exactly that, because we cannot tolerate people getting physical with crew members. We would not tolerate a crew member getting physical with us, right? So why is it acceptable the other way? Can you imagine a crew member's out his night off, hits the town in San Juan, comes back, he's a little tipsy, and he starts horsing around on his night off and everything, and somebody in the auditorium or something, and somebody tells him to quiet down, and he comes in that guy's face and starts pushing him and shoving him. That guy would be fired, he'd be off the ship, he'd be in every newspaper out there. But a passenger doing it, and we keep the noise down, right? We don't want to spread that around. Kick them off the ship, send them home, send a message that that kind of behavior will not be tolerated ever. Well, I hope you appreciate this update. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel blogs from around the world, hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.